So today we've already had a few people ask me, one, how do you buy a property in Mexico? Um, and I presume this is all in Mexico because it's constitutionally based, being American, non-Mexican citizen. The easiest way to explain it is that there's these restricted zones. Restricted zones are any border and or beachfront property, specifically because in the Constitution of Mexico, they developed it so they would avoid invasions. So they'd have to do a lot more. Have to have a lot more information, a lot more backgrounds to be able to have you buy something as a non-Mexican citizen on the border. So the only way to do that is via a trust. You have to get a trust. They do get you a ton of information from you. You get a trust that's then run by a specific bank. You are the trustee on it, similar like a trust in America. And then the trust owns the land, and then we are still on the deed or the title of the actual property. You want to ask me why that changes the rules, Constitution, I'm not going to be able to answer that for you. But then once you've had that trust, the trust then has a annual trust fee, in this specific case of about $500 a year, and the bank owns it, and or you own the property for 50-year increments. At the end of 50 years, you just renew it. There's no way for you not to be able to renew it, but you can. And aside from that, that's the basic principle of it. You just got to make sure the trust is set up properly, so you have fiduciary responsibility if you were to die, and there's second and third fiduciary responsibilities associated with that. So if I die, it goes to my wife. If my wife dies, it goes to somebody else in my family, and then you can have an American trust that theoretically can oversee all that as an umbrella trust. There's some confusion there because of country laws, but for basic principle, that's how that would work. So you would pay an escrow company. And funny fact, in Mexico, there's no recognized legal entity as an escrow company, but you have to make sure you know somebody that can trust them. And then I had a lawyer read over the contract. This specific one had some probate issues with the guy that previously owned it in America, so it tended to last longer. So we had a probate attorney, my attorney, the notary, which in Mexico, the notary is an actual attorney. It's not the typical 3-hour course in America. So it's a big thing. There's only so many notaries in Mexico. I think there's 2 in Rosarito and there's 30-something in TJ. And they all have to agree on a long contract, and then you sit in the contract and they read the entire contract to you page after page. Once you do that, you basically execute it. Once you execute it, you own the property. Then it takes 3 to 4 weeks. They basically bind to the contract, and they do all the notarizations of it. They do all the exhibits that are in the 40-page contract. It becomes very complicated. And then once that whole package is together, they say, here you go, it's officially yours from a legal standpoint, even though we can take possession of the property today.